Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Gav goes in. Got man like Elite Baller. What are you saying, Elite Baller? How's things?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Bit of my weekend was better than the football we saw on Friday night. Put it that way. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I've been all good, man. I've been all good. Just been as same with you, man. Just taking in this result. Obviously, Man United Leicester. Obviously you've probably seen my reaction to it. Obviously straight after the game. Not too happy, to be honest with you, man. But obviously I want to get your take on it, and then we'll delve a bit more into onto obviously Ruben Amorim as well, and obviously the keeper sell from the squad at the moment as well. Because to be honest with you, man, it's just frustrating watching this team. And as I said in my reaction, I know people get excited, obviously United winning and get going through to the next round. But I think if you're a serious fan, you can't really be taking anything out of that game, if I'm honest. You know. So yeah, man, I want to get your take on the game, really. So what did you think in total?
So first of all, we got to mention the fact that obviously we got a new left back in the January transfer window. Everyone's excited because we're thinking, okay, now there's no excuse for Amorim because he can play left wing back now. So Dalot doesn't have to play there. So, now Dalot and Mazraoui can compete for the right back position. But then as soon as we see the lineup, as soon as we see the game start, we see that Dorgu's on the right-hand side and Dalot is still on the left. So, again, it's the second match in a row where Amorim's doing things that I just can't comprehend. And really, it's so important that people are playing on the right side because as you saw, as I saw, as everyone saw, most of the time our wing backs are passing it back because they couldn't really progress with it, especially Dalot. He's not going to take it past the player. Most of the time he was passing it back. When he did cut into cross, by the time he did that, the cross was blocked. So straight away, that decision made us look really pedestrian. And the first half was boring. Let's be honest with you. The first half was just boring, mate.
Yeah, no. Listen, I think in terms of games this season, I'd go as far as saying it's probably been one of the worst games I've probably watched. That first half was a joke. Leicester, to be honest with you, Leicester are what, bottom of the I think they're bottom of the Premier League, or is that Southampton?
It's probably Southampton, but no.
Yeah, I think they're in the bottom three anyway. And to be honest with you, they played United off the pitch, man. It was embarrassing. And again, I think the bigger picture is United got through to the next round, even though it was offside, the goal by Harry Maguire. I think in terms of what you said about Dorgu, I think again I mentioned in my reaction to it, I could understand what the manager was doing, but then in the same sense, it didn't really make any sense as to why you'd bring him in and play him there to start with, because again he's trying to recreate what he had at Sporting with Quenda and Francisco Trincao or Marcus Edwards when he has the left-footed players inverting. So I could see from that sense he wanted to obviously to have Ahmad and Dorgu on that side and try and recreate that. The problem is that we already know that Diogo Dalot is useless on that side. So if you're going to play Dalot, obviously as we've said before, Dalot needs to be playing right side of the back three, or if you are going to play him as a wing back, just play him on the right hand side rather than the left, because he offers absolutely nothing on that side. And I think the problem is, again, there's a lot of favoritism in this team, very much the same as what Ten Hag was doing. And I think that was a major cock up from the manager to start with. And again, Dorgu was probably the most liveliest player in that first half for United. And then manager gets given one player, doesn't really play him in his position, or play him where everyone expected him to play, and then hooks him off at half time, and it's just again, the manager is just doing things that I don't really understand, and You know, again, I'm by no means I want Amorim to go, but I can definitely say he is starting to piss me off. Really, if I'm honest,
Yeah, same
because
here.
some of the lineups he's doing, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like he's trying to appeal to the board, you know, to get him more players, or he's just just stubborn. You know what I mean? It just don't make sense. But yeah, the game as a whole, man, I just think it wasn't really a great game in terms of quality, you know. And again, it took some of the subs to come on the pitch, you know, and change the flow of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just a bit of a dead game, you know what I mean? But I think on a brighter note, they're through to the next round. But
Yeah.
I do believe, you know, obviously a lot of the big teams are out now as well.
That's
But
it.
I do believe if they play any decent team in the next round, I think for sure they're going out. But if they carry on playing the way they are, you know,
what concerns me is that this game is following the same pattern of a lot of games where first half were just garbage. He plays the wrong team, and then we concede, and then what he has to then do is admit that he got it wrong, and then he has to bring on like a couple of attacking players on. Why don't you just start with them, and then maybe we have a better first half, we score first, and then the game is totally different. I'm just getting sick and tired of conceding the first goal, and then it's panic stations, because let's be honest, we're lucky that we came out of that with a win, right? And on certain other occasions, that may not happen. So we've got to be the team that scores first. And for me, the only way we do that is if he picks the right team, which he just doesn't do. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think for me, I think it's always obviously with any team, you want to get consistency. You know, the back three is always changing. You know, obviously he's trying to, you know, give everyone game time, and he's trying to rest certain players as well. But I think even if you're a keeper, you're going to be in your back three. You're not sure of who's going to be playing every week. You know, and that will create confusion as well for the keeper.
Yeah,
you know? For me, Matthias de Ligt needs to be playing every game. You know, I'd play him in the centre. You know, I know Harry Maguire got the winner, you know, and he has had some decent performances. But for me, the Ligt needs to be patrolling that back three for sure. And the fact that he was on the bench, you know, and again, United got away with it, but everything just seems to be changing. The midfield's a joke. I can't actually tell you. I think every part of the team there's an issue. You know?
Yeah. You can't really say, oh, it doesn't matter about this position because they've been playing well. No. Like you said, every single position has an issue. No one knows what the team's going to be before it comes out. Just those bloody two in centre midfield piss me off, man. Because what other teams play that in the Premier League? Most teams play with three centre midfielders, which is probably, you know, maybe one DMF, one box to box, and one attacking midfield. But we play with one DMF and one whatever. I mean, I don't know what Bruno thinks he is when he plays there. I don't know what Mainoo thinks when he plays there. It's just confusing. If we're confused, I can only imagine what it's like for the players. You know?
Yeah. No. I'm the same, man. I mean, I prefer 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 formation, because I think, again, I do like inverted forwards. You know, I think that's the way the game's gone now. So I do prefer having the left foot on the right, a right foot on the left, and inverting. So a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 would work well for me if it was my choice, to be honest with you. I think with this formation here, there's obviously key areas in this formation. The central midfielders really have to be energetic, you would say, you know, but most importantly, they have to be press resistant as well. Taking the ball in deep areas from the defense, and obviously providing that support really to defense and to attack, you would say. I think the two players that are currently playing there in Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes, for me, it's the worst combination, because you've got Ugarte, who isn't press resistant on the ball, and even though Ugarte does charge around the pitch and put tackles in, like the problem is, I'm very skeptical if he's the one giving the ball away in the first place to be doing that, you know. And again, his passing range ain't really that great, you know. So yeah, so he's really in the team to break up play, let's be honest, and then give it to the better players. For a Man United team, I understand you need players like that in the squad. But Man United are on the front foot, especially against the lower teams. A player like that you don't need. He's someone that you would bring on in the last, 15, 20 minutes to kind of shore it up or to kind of see the game out, And then you've got Bruno Fernandes, who is ill-disciplined. He wants to be the star of the show every game. Every time if you watch him, he goes and takes the ball off players' toes, like he's the go-to guy. And again, I don't necessarily blame Bruno for doing that. I blame management and I blame whoever is in charge for allowing him to think somehow he is that sort of player. And so that area there is a massive concern. Again, someone like Toby Collier, I like Collier for me is a squad player. He's not someone that should be starting week in, week out. But if I'm looking at what Ugarte offers, I think Toby Collier can offer that. Plus, he's a better footballer than Ugarte as well.
See, there's only one manager that has done the right thing with Ugarte, and it wasn't Ten Hag and it's not Amorim. It was Ruud van Nistelrooy. He played him with Casemiro. And I remember those games very well, mate, because I remember our midfield was tight. Our midfield was not getting run through. You had two players there who were defensive minded, but also you've got Casemiro who is good at attacking, mate. Let's not pretend he isn't. He can head the ball in, he can shoot from distance, he can cross it, he can pass it. So I loved those two. And we always say, don't we, when we pick the team, that's what we want. But we know it's never going to happen with Amorim. So to me, Ugarte and Casemiro works so well. Ruud saw it. Ruud played it. We were successful with it. Amorim comes in, he destroys it, and now people are looking at Ugarte thinking that he's a waste of money. Well, he's a good player, but you got to put the right player next to him, and Bruno is not that player. And we got to face facts. The manager doesn't like Casemiro. I've no idea why. I would have thought the fact that they both speak Portuguese would have been a bit of a connection, a bit of a bond. But what he did to him the other day by bringing on for 30 seconds shows that he doesn't give a damn about him. And I think it was disrespectful. You may not think he's the right player for your system, but to do that is just out and out disrespectful. It's basically saying, you mean nothing to me. I'm bringing you on for 30 seconds so people realise that you mean nothing to me. And I just thought that was so disrespectful, mate.
No, 100%, man. When he done that substitution, if I'm Casemiro, I'm thinking I'm the most decorated player in that squad, the most experienced in that squad, and my manager is bringing me on for really 30 seconds to go and do what? Yeah. If I'm Casemiro, I refuse to come on the pitch there and then because there was no need for Amorim to even do that. I mean, I really don't understand the point of doing that because Casemiro coming on for 30 seconds was making no difference to the game.
Yeah,
it's like he wanted to show the fans, and Casemiro especially, that he'll do what he wants, and it's like you're using the most decorated player in the squad to make an example of, And credit to Casemiro as well. He weren't sulking, he weren't doing none of that. You know what I mean? If that was me and I see my manager is trying to do that to me, I'm just saying to him, look, I can't come on. I feel something because there is no need for Amorim to even do that. That's a kind of thing. Even if you're going to do that, you would do that to a youth player, just go and get an appearance, come on for 30 seconds,
This is what I was about to say to you. Why couldn't he have just brought Heaven on for 30 seconds? There you go. Make your debut very quickly, get a nice clap from the crowd as you come on. The game's more or less won now. That's what he should have done, mate. But he wanted to prove a point. And this is what I don't like about him. It's like he comes across as arrogant. like really arrogant. And I thought when I first started hearing him in press conferences, he's down to earth. But there's certain things that he's doing now where I'm like, I don't know if I like you right now, mate. You say one thing, you do the total opposite. Ruud van Nistelrooy, right? He was asked about Casemiro, and he said people blamed him for the Liverpool defeat. It wasn't on him. He's here to help others. He's a great player. He's a leader. He's an example to all. So we had a manager there who knew what Casemiro was. And now we've got a manager who's the total opposite, who wants to humiliate him. And it's very concerning to me, mate, because is this manager caring more about his life or the club? That's what concerns me right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think what it is from what I've seen of Amorim, and again, I think I mentioned this to you before. I think because he's Portuguese, he's young. I think he's using that to his advantage to kind of, in a sense, to kind of take the piss. Let's be honest, because he's like the new manager on the block. You know, obviously a lot of teams wanted him, and United got him. And he obviously speaks well in press conferences and that as well. I think, again, I'm someone, I don't mind arrogance because, again, all the best players in the world have some sort of arrogance about them. That's why they're the best in the world. You know what I mean? But I think with him, Man United for a start is the biggest club he's been at, and you don't come to United and disrespect a legend of the game like a Casemiro the way he's done that. You know what I mean? And to make matters worse, obviously some of the selection he's been doing as well. Like you can't be going on like that when really the team ain't playing well at all, and your selections are questionable. You know, because again, to start Kobe Mino against Nottingham Forest as a false nine is a parody. Let's be honest, it's a joke because this was a guy that was playing in the 6 and the 8. You played him in the 10 and then decided to play him in the 9. Why you would do that, I don't know. And then he started Rasmus Højlund again when everyone knows that Rasmus Højlund is not the level and he's not good enough. You know, and the thing is, at this point, there's not even no point talking about Rasmus Højlund because it's just there for all to see. He just ain't good, you know, and I don't know what Xerxes has to do to get more game time. And again, Xerxes comes off the bench and was the catalyst for why United got back into the game. Someone that could hold the ball, you know, someone that brought players into the game. His touch, you know what I mean? His confidence on the ball. Obviously, he got the goal as well. But he was a catalyst as to why United came back into it. Do I believe the manager is going to start him against Tottenham? I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that he should be starting, but there's one thing about this manager: you can never guess what he's going to do because
you can't.
The team just changes every week, you know. And
it worries me because how are you ever going to have consistency if you're changing everything? In terms of Xerxes and let's say Casemiro, Eriksen, those kinds, let's say those players for the moment, right?
Yeah.
What I feel like is that if they make a mistake, that Amorim gets offended by that, and then you will not see them play again for the next couple of games. Whereas he's fine with Bruno doing that, and he's fine with Dalot doing that game after game after game. But any of those three that I mentioned, if they give the ball away, that's it. And it can't be like that. You've got to be the same with all the players. You've got to.
But again, this will come down to, is it favoritism because it's his compatriots? This is the issue, you know, because no one can tell me that he's not playing Bruno and Dalot every game because they're Portuguese. Like it's very obvious as to what he's doing because you look at the likes of Anthony, who was never given a chance and now he's out on loan at Betis, and look at what Anthony's doing. He's had 2 games in a row, 2 man of match performances.
Goal and assist.
Yeah. So you know, it shows you that, you know, if someone's been given the belief, they can do something. So yeah, it's very obvious to me that he's favouring Dalot and Bruno no matter how they play. And I think with this manager as well, he's kind of surprised me, if I'm honest, because when I watched a few of Sporting's games, Sporting like to play football. You know, kick the ball on the floor. You know, it was all about the technical side of the game. From what I'm seeing of this manager, you know, and this is a fault on the fan base as well. This manager is falling into the same trap that Ten Hag fell into, where they just seem to be playing runners. You know, there's no respect for actual technicians in this. You know what? This is actually a culture problem in this country. I must say, because this country just love tryhards. You know, they love players that just run around. You know, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, if you got mud on the shorts, they love players like that, rather than giving time to actual technicians, because the actual technicians are the ones that will win you the game. You know, these players that just run around, they have their place in the squad, but they should never be made to be like the forefront of the team. And you look at someone like Bruno Fernandes is a prime example. He gives the ball away countless times, but because he just runs all over the place. And again, it's like the way that I look at it, all the best players in the world, like the very best players to win Ballon d'Ors, none of them were really athletes as such. They were all just technicians, you know what I mean? And the way football's gone now, obviously we know it's an athlete's game, but the athletes seem to be getting more leeway than technicians. And that's never been football, you know. And you look at the likes of Rasmus Højlund playing every week. Like, the manager's clearly playing him because of athleticism, you know, not because he actually thinks Højlund's actually a good player. And I don't really know why the managers actually fell into this trap, because if he continues doing this, the likes of Ugarte, Bruno, even Dalot, Højlund, Garnacho, these guys ain't gonna get you anywhere, because their first thought is athleticism, not quality on the ball. You know, and for me, I'm just sick and tired of seeing the same old players. You know, I thought when Amorim came in, I thought he's gonna, you know, play more footballers. He's doing exactly what Ten Hag is doing, and this is why I said on my stream straight after, he is just a slightly better version of Ten Hag from what I'm seeing. You know, and yeah, it's a joke. But
Have you noticed how he barely celebrates any of our goals, the manager?
You know what? Yeah, this might sound odd, but I don't really have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. Because he's probably looking at the level that he feels that these players should be playing to, or he's looking at, because you know, like the way I look at it, like if you're playing against a League One, League Two team in the FA Cup, you know, you've been battered all game, and then you get a goal. You shouldn't really celebrate that, because it's been poor. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it on that side, that he's not celebrating because there's a lot of work ahead, and he expects better. You know what I mean? So I haven't really got a problem with that. Whether people might think it's arrogant or not, but for me, I don't really have an issue with that, because I'm looking at it on the side of he expects better. And yeah, obviously the team ain't producing.
But why should he expect better when he's playing the shit lineup every single game? That's one thing. But the reason I point it out is, if I contrast him and compare him to Ruud van Nistelrooy, when we were scoring against Ruud van Nistelrooy, he would celebrate, he'd turn, he'd look at the crowd, and you could feel this bond. You could feel it, right? Amorim, it's like he doesn't care whether or not we score. It might as well be that we're conceding when we're not, because he doesn't show any emotion. And I'll be honest with you, he's lucky that there's a certain part of the crowd that keeps singing Ruben Amorim's Red Army, because I don't feel like singing that. I'll be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to sort of feel any bad will towards Ten Hag, but already I'm feeling it towards Ruben Amorim. So this is why I'm saying there's certain things that he's doing where I'm like, do you want to be here? Do you care about this team? Is it just a job to you? And it's starting to scare me. Like, are we only ever going to see success if we actually get an ex-player who loves this club, like a Michael Carrick, like a Ruud van Nistelrooy? Are these managers that are coming in just doing it for the money and the prestige? or do they actually want to be part of this club? And that's why I'm saying these things, because it concerns me, mate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you know what? I can see where you're coming from. As I said, for me, I don't really, I just want the best manager for the job. I couldn't give a damn if they're ex-player. I just want the best of the best, because this club has been failing for too long. You know what I mean? So, in terms of Amorim, it could be behind the scenes. He could be annoyed that he hasn't got the players that he wanted in January. Who knows? I mean, there was reports that United did approach Cunha and Douglas Luiz, but was told that there's no money there. And obviously, we know with the Garnacho thing, where Garnacho would have gone, but he wanted high wages. Could he be pissed off with that? I don't know. But in terms of because I'm purely focused on his selection, all the other stuff, I'll leave that to the fans, because I'm not there in the ground, and if he's showing like he doesn't want to be there, time will tell. The least that we can ask for as fans is that you just play a correct team and get the best result possible. Because that not Nottingham Forest, that what's the game he played Kobe Minor? Oh, that Crystal Palace game was inexcusable for him to do that. It just seemed like, to me, he's throwing the game away, and especially if you're going to play a midfielder as a false nine and you're playing two defensive fullbacks as wing backs, it didn't make any sense. So for me, I understand he is doing things that you would say, does he really want to be there? But in the same sense, we don't really know what's going on behind closed doors, because he could be, as I say to you, annoyed that he hasn't got players in. He might have been promised something by Ineos and it hasn't happened. So it might be a case that he's going through the motions. But what I would say, the games United have coming up, he's going to be under pressure, because this. I mean, I think I read saying as well that United have won 6 of their last 8 games. I think it might have been in all competitions. Yeah. The problem there is that I look at a lot of that team, a lot of them teams they've played, probably apart from Arsenal, they're all teams that you would expect United to have beaten from the games that they've won. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is now, I think they're in the bottom half for a reason. And the way that they performed against Leicester City and against Southampton, who are bottom, I don't see much difference really from what he's doing, because it's very clear he's not playing certain players, and you know what I mean. We can keep hoping that he is going to do it, but we just don't know. But I think there's a lot of problem ahead for Amorim, because the selection is a massive issue, and and again, the squad is thin. All it takes is a couple of injuries to a few key players, i.e. Ahmad, De Ligt, and this team's going to crumble, because they haven't got the suitable replacements in the squad. So yeah, it's gonna be mad, because this manager is just he's failing. It's like he's failing on purpose, because there's no excuse for United to be playing this sort of football. I know the players ain't good enough, a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure you can. I think the good start is to play the right players, and you probably might get better quality of football. But yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? But what I wanted to ask you though, because I was listening to a lot of these commentators, and again, I said on my stream straight after the game, I would implore people, even if it's your first time watching football properly, or you don't really consume football as often, I would implore people to just ignore what these commentators say, because these commentators and again the media as well, and a lot of these pundits, they have a very good way of influencing people's minds. Because when I see the way, I think it was Lee Dixon, the way he was talking about Garnacho when he came on the pitch, it just shows me that these ex players ain't really got a clue about what's going on, and a lot of them have to be scripted, because I watched that game, and to be honest with you, Garnacho just looked lively. You know, he looked lively with the ball. And again, because he's actually a winger, he wanted to get the ball on the touchline. And again, James Justin playing right back or right centre back for Leicester was giving him time to run at him. And if any player's got time to run at you, you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, they should be doing something, you know. But I watched the game, and the way that they were just waxing lyrical about Garnacho, again, it's a sign of you can't listen to these people because they ain't really got a clue. And the fact that he got man the match, like I'm not sure what game they were watching, because if Joshua Zirkzee doesn't come onto that pitch, they don't get back into the game. And it's the little things that people don't see. Yeah, it's the fact that you had someone that could actually hold the ball. You know what I mean? It's the fact that he's got game intelligence. You know, but again, the culture of this country and a lot of these fans, they just like players that just run, because Garnacho showed a lot of energy and was just running consistently. And yeah, I think the ball that he put back, which obviously rebounded back to Zirkzee, if you actually check, he done that a couple of times in the game, which didn't come off. Yeah. So eventually it was going to come off. And then obviously the chance that way he should have squared it to Højlund or to Ahmad, and he went for the shot, went for the glory. Again, that's not talked about. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I wanted to get your take on what you thought about that.
Well, the problem is when you have a first half that crap, as soon as you get some players with a bit of energy and a bit of attacking intent, it's going to look so much better than the first half. So that's all I would say about that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm very fair about Garnacho. If he does something good, I'll say it. If he does something bad, I'll say it. Like you mentioned, I took a screenshot of when he shot into the side net instead of squaring it. That is just stupidity, really, because the angle is too tight. All you got to do is just literally cross it along the floor, and that's a tap in for someone. So those are the things that let him down. But what I will say, going back to the manager, is I'm sick and tired of him moaning that the strikers aren't getting service when he is the one who's asking Garnacho to cross it with his weaker foot, Dalot to cross it with his weaker foot, Dorgu to cross it with his weaker foot, Ahmad to cross it with his weaker foot. I mean, what do you expect? Yeah. Back in my day, I had Beckham on the right and I had Giggs on the left. Giggs would cross it with his best foot, which is his left, Beckham with his right. And that's why Van Nistelrooy was getting however many goals a year, right? So our strikers are not going to score loads of goals in this situation they're in. It's just not going to happen. And for him to sort of maybe not complain about it, but to even bring it up as an issue just shows stupidity, because you're the one who's making all these players play on the wrong side if you want them to cross it. And now and then they will do it with their weaker foot like Garnacho does, and it will be a goal. But if we had people on the right side, most of the time they're going to deliver good balls into the. I mean, when was the last time you saw Dalot cross it for a good cross into the box? I can't remember.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you, because like when I grew up, obviously it was left foot was on the left, right foot was on the right. You know what I mean? That was my childhood growing up of watching players. For me personally, I do prefer the inverted, because with the inverted, it gives you an option to come in field for a shot, or if you got an overlapping fullback, it gives you a chance to play, you know, like a 1-2 with them. You know, so it gives you different variety. The issue that I think United have, and they have it more than most clubs in the league, is and this is why someone like a Rashford was a problem, because if you look at Rashford and you look at Garnacho, these guys, and Anthony as well, you can say as well, these guys are shoot first players. Yeah. So if you've got players that are shoot first players, especially in the system that Ten Hag had them in, you shouldn't really expect them to be playing to be creating for your striker, because again, they just think that it's cut and shoot, you know, but that's just the makeup of the player, which is why someone like a Jadon Sancho was key. and would be key in this system because he's a create first player. And again, it's about profiles. If you look at Amad Diallo, for instance, Amad Diallo is a create first player. Maybe because Amad is playing in this system, and because Ahmad probably looks at it that he has to be the best player on the pitch every week because if this team are struggling, he might be thinking, I've got to make it all happen on myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's for me, it's not the issue that they're playing on the wrong side. It's the profile of the actual players. Because if you've got more create first players, the striker naturally will get goals. Because you look at prime example, Manchester City. Yeah, if they're a prime example. They've got creators all over the pitch in their team. They've got Jack Grealish, they've got Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Savinho. These players are all create first players. None of them really are shoot first players. Even as bad as Jeremy Doku is, he's more of a creator, but he's more of a winger, a creator, And then you look at Liverpool, for instance, yeah. You've got Mo Salah, who obviously is a goal-hungry machine, but he does create as well. Cody Gakpo is probably more of a shoot-first player. Luis Diaz is probably more of a creator first. So there's a variety, and obviously you've got Darwin Núñez as the striker, and Jota, who are more shoot-first players, And then you even go down to someone like Chelsea now. Chelsea have Cole Palmer, who's a create-first player. Jadon Sancho, again, is a create-first player. Then you've got Pedro Neto and Madueke, who probably are a bit of both, you know what I mean? But probably more on the shoot-first side of it. So that's what I would say. United don't have too many creators first, especially in them 10 positions, because you're looking at Ahmad really, and we're saying Ahmad is more effective as the right wing back in this system at the moment because there's nothing really going on. And then the other person they're playing there is Garnacho, who's actually a winger in the Jeremy Doku mode, who's just trying to get to the bar line and cut it back, Whereas if you've got like a Christian Eriksen playing in the 10, Christian Eriksen is a creator first and foremost. Kobe Manu, if he played in the 10, he's a more creator. So again, yeah, I do hear what you're saying, but for me, it's the profiles, that I would look at first. And this is why this summer window is important, because them 10 positions need to be creators, not shoot first players.
So here's a thought, right?
Yeah.
Even though we had, like I said, Giggs on the left, Beckham on the right, now and then Sir Alex would actually swap them over halfway through the game. Just see if it changes something. I don't see this manager ever doing that. Because look, some of the best games I've seen Garnacho play has actually been on the right. Because believe it or not, his left foot isn't that bad. So he can actually cut in and shoot with his left, but he's more likely to have a good cross with his right. So I just think there's a room there for a bit of flexibility, but he seems very obsessed and strict about his system. And it's a bit worrying because it's not always going to work. Yeah, you're playing against different teams with different strengths. There isn't one size fits all system, in my opinion. So does he have the flexibility to change things around here and there? Because if he doesn't, then again, it's another concerning thing for me.
No. Yeah, I think he has to be adaptable to the players that he has, for sure. I think it was someone like Garnacho, for instance. The reason Garnacho plays better on the right because it's less thinking going out there. It's the same reason with like Rashford. If you play Rashford on the left hand side, he's because of the status that he has in the team at United. His thing is right. Everything's on me. I'm just trying to cut in and get a shot off. Whereas playing on the right, he's forced to go down the outside or play it back because obviously coming in field, he's coming onto his weaker foot. And that's the same with Garnacho. If you play him on the right-hand side, it limits the options that he has. It's either he's going to play it back, play it in field, or he's going to go down the outside, But again, the manager has to be adaptable to change, because if you see something's not working, I'm not saying for him to abandon his philosophy or to abandon his formation, but you have to be adaptable to see what players work better in what situations. You know what I mean? And again, he's very stubborn, just like what Ten Hag is. And this is the problem, I think, with these sort of managers now, because a lot of these managers now, they're so fixated on their system,
Yeah.
they don't really care about what a player's strengths are. Really, that's the way it
Mhm.
seems. You know,
Mhm.
it's like you're gonna either fit the way that I want to play, or they'll go and get someone else. And I think it's not really a way from, I would see it, to run a squad. You know, because you have to deal with the players that you've got until you move them on. But if I'm just looking at the playing squad now, it's very obvious that Dallo is not doing nothing in this system as a wing back. So why you continue playing him there?
Mm.
You know, even in the left 10, like, you know, even though Garnacho had an impact game coming on against Leicester, you can see Garnacho, the way he plays, he's more suited to a wing back. You know what I mean? I'd much prefer seeing Garnacho play as a wing back than Dallo, because Garnacho is a winger, really, you know.
Yeah.
And naturally he's going to be attacking, which will create more overloads and more opportunities for the team. You know,
I think it boils down to what you said the other day, where it just feels like he's going to find somewhere for Dallo to play regardless.
Well, if he continues doing that, I think he's gonna lose the fan base, because, and the thing is, it's not going to be Dallo's fault, because Dallo just needs time at the team. But if the manager's going to continue playing Dallo, and the team are going to continue getting negative results, they're going to be pointing to that decision, because that's one player that you'd probably say, out of every player at the moment, him and Højlund, that shouldn't be playing. You know, so it's gonna be interesting to see, because it's very obvious he's playing Dallo off of favoritism, but you've got Dorgu there now, and again, Dorgu can play on that right hand side, but we was all under the impression that he was coming in to play as a left wing back, you know, and the manager's not doing that. So, you know, obviously still early days, but I think he's just trying to get Dallo in this team. And the funny thing as well, actually, is that Martinez getting injured has actually kind of helped Amorim out, because Mazraoui has to play, really. But the problem is, if Dorgu came in, and obviously you expect Dorgu to be playing as he's a new signing, and he keeps playing Dallo, it'll be very interesting to see where Mazraoui fits in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Mazraoui is he's fairly tall, so he looked comfortable on the sort of left or right side centre back, didn't he? He can do that.
Yeah, he's very that's yeah.
Exactly, and he's versatile. He costs barely anything, and that's the sort of signing that I think Ineos want. They want a player who can play in different positions, but we need to make the most of that. But I just think he doesn't play Ericsson that often. He doesn't ever play Casemiro. People will say to me, "Well, they're not the future of Man United." Neither is Maguire. Yeah. De Ligt is basically similar to Maguire. They're both not the fastest. They're both good in the air. They're both strong. So you can't have it both ways, because why is De Ligt not playing at the moment? You see what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah, it's very baffling. But again, I think it's probably more rotation. But the fact that Maguire, who we all thought was fourth choice centre back, the fact that he's more or less, you would say he's probably the main starter now. Like, how that's happened, I will never know. And again, he has been playing decent, but again, if I'm serious, I don't care how decent he's been playing. I'm setting a marker out to say, look, Harry, like, you've been playing well, but you're not first choice to me, and you'll come in as and when. That's what I would do if you really want to build something. But the problem is, Maguire now, I'm expecting him to be starting every week now. Where's that come from? You know, so it's very odd, man, very odd. But the manager's got to figure this out, man. That's what I will say. Whether he does or not, I don't know. But one thing's for sure, this can't be carrying on. And I reckon if there's a few more results, I think he could be under pressure. I don't think he'll get sacked personally, but let's say, for instance, if he was to go, I don't know, 4 or 5 games in a row without a win, and they're playing this shit football, and certain players are still playing, I think Ineos might have a decision to make with whether they can afford to sack him or not. But yeah, but we'll have to wait and see, man. But I do think Amram is a good coach. Don't get me wrong, but I am skeptical at the moment as to what's going on. So I think I'm reserving judgment until I see a few more games, because this Tottenham game will tell me a lot, because there's no reason why someone like Josh Zirkzee shouldn't be starting. You know, there's no reason why Dorgu shouldn't be starting as well. You know, and for me, because we know Bruno's going to play, so it's pretty pointless talking about that. But for me, the acid test for him is Joshua Zirkzee, because Zirkzee for me has to play. I think that is it away from home they're playing against Tottenham.
Yeah, it's away. Yeah.
Yeah. So even more importantly, he needs to be playing to obviously hold the ball up, really, because I can see the ball just bouncing back if Højlund's playing. So the fact that they're at home, you're going to need someone to retain possession. And again, Joshua Zirkzee is a miles better player than Rashford, than Højlund. And that role, he's much better as well. So
to me, right, there's a lot of pressure on Spurs for that game, because obviously they've just gone out 2 cups in a few days.
Yeah.
They're still, you know, in the doldrums like we are in terms of the league. They let goals in nearly every game, right? So if I'm Amorim, I'm going there, and I'm going there with the intent to attack.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to want to attack in the first half. He's like he wants to try to keep a clean sheet in the first half, and then if he needs to change the game, he'll bring some attacking players on. Whereas, like I said earlier, just start with them.
Yeah.
Why are you leaving things to chance? You could be 2-0 down before you bring these subs on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, it's baffling, man. It is baffling, but yeah, just quickly, have you seen the FA Cup 5th round draw?
No, go on.
So Preston are playing Burnley.
Okay.
Aston Villa at home to Cardiff.
Yeah.
Doncaster or Crystal Palace at home to Millwall.
Yeah.
If Crystal Palace win that'll be a South London derby, actually. That'd be a good game. United got Fulham at home.
Okay, I'm happy with that. But you realise now that's the 3rd Premier League team that we're playing now in the FA Cup in a row.
Yeah. Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Arsenal, Leicester, Fulham, 3 Premier League teams. Man City had bloody Salford and Leighton Orient.
And you're going to laugh at this as well, yeah? Newcastle, Brighton.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, Wolves. Who do you think City got?
Another shit team.
Plymouth.
Oh my God. You see what I'm saying?
Plymouth. Yeah.
It sounds rigged to me, because we get 3 Premier League teams and they get like, I don't even know what to say, mate.
Yeah. Big up Bilal, man. Yeah, just seen the draw now. So City got Plymouth at home as well. So you know what? Yeah, I'm not sure when the draw. I'm not sure when the draw is, but I wonder if that's going to be in between the. I know they're playing Champions League tomorrow.
Yeah,
but the second leg, I wonder if that game is going to be in between that, because that will give them probably a chance to rest a lot of their players as well.
Good point.
Yeah. So
at least we're at home, though. That's one thing. Yeah,
but I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think that really makes a difference. I just think if United play any decent team, they can get turned over, man, because they're not playing well at all. So, and Exeter, Nottingham Forest are playing Ipswich.
Okay.
But yeah, but before we wrap anyway, just want to go through the keep or sell from the squad at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to obviously first off, Andre Onana, keep or sell.
I would keep him, but only on the premise that we bring another goalkeeper in that competes with him, and because I don't think he's out and out there with one of the best in the world. And we've had Schmeichel, we've had we've had De Gea, we've had Van der Sar. So I need a keeper like that. So if we do keep him, someone else has to come in to compete with him. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, same. I'm cool with Onana staying. I know he's got his many detractors, you know, that people that think he ain't good enough. And again, he does need to improve. But I think, as I said last time, he's one of the least. I think he's one of the least problems in the squad, you know. And I want to see him have a settled back three in front of him. I mean, even the goal that Leicester scored, I mean, he couldn't do nothing about that, really. No. He made a good save, and then obviously just rebounded off of what's the name's head. I can't remember the guy's name who scored the goal. Who scored the goal again? Who was it? Decordova Reed.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm happy with Onana staying. Buy in there.
Again, it's difficult because I don't think there's that much difference between them, but. I guess because Onana costs more money, you'd want to keep him. So yeah, let's just say sell Bayern there for me.
Sell Bayern there. Yeah, I mean, again, if another keeper does come in, if I'm honest, I do think. I mean, some people think Bayern there's better. I think Onana is a better keeper than Bayern there. I know obviously he's had a few howlers as well, but I think if United do get another keeper, and they want to eventually have this keeper to take over from Onana, then I think it's obvious that Bayern there should be moved on, you know. So yeah, I'm happy with that as well. Bayern they're going. All right, cool. We go on to right back, right. We'll say right centre back. I think pretty easy one. Lenny Yoro.
Keep.
Yeah. I think Yoro. Again, it is an easy one. I think he just needs time to gel into this team. I think the fact that he keeps coming in and out, you know, I think I'm not quite sure if that is good for his development or it's actually confusing him, you know. So I think give him like 3-4 games in a row, you know, and then if it's a case where you're bringing him off, I understand that, but I think it's not really helping him where he's coming in 1 minute and then not playing, you know. There's no continuity there, so but yeah, for sure, man. Lenny Yoro is a definite to keep.
Let me just counter what you said there. So one thing I will say in positive of Amorim, because there aren't that many, is that the reason I think he's doing that is because of the injury that he had, and I think he's just being cautious with him. So I actually think that's a good idea. But I take what you're saying on about if he does play more often, he's going to get better. But yeah, I'm just saying he's protecting him because of the injury he had. But yeah.
Okay. I the thing is, I do see that, but I just like to see him play a bit more. If I'm honest, you know. Matthias de Ligt again, another easy one for me. Keep.
Keep. I'm happy with him. He's strong. He's aggressive. He's actually good on the ball, and he's capable of scoring some goals for us as well, which is why I think he's the perfect person to take over from Maguire.
Yeah, well, I'll go as far as saying, I wouldn't mind him having the captain's armband. I'm honest, you know.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like his leadership qualities, you know, and again playing next to Virgil van Dijk for Holland as well, that's going to rub off on him as well. But yeah, I think for me he's United's best central defender for me. So yeah, that's another easy one. Keep. So again, from what we've gone through, there's 3 players there that you would keep from the squad. So it's not a bad base to work from so far. Harry Maguire.
I think, like I said earlier, he's not the future. He's needed now because we've got injuries. But De Ligt is his long-term successor. So I would just get rid of him and get some money for him while we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a slight different one with Maguire. Even though I don't think Maguire, you know, is good enough to be a starter for United if United are being serious. What I would say is that, especially with United's financials, how much is it going to cost to replace Harry Maguire? You know, because obviously if you've got like the lick that's out injured or suspended, and you just need someone to come in for the odd game or whatever, how much are you looking to spend to replace that player? So Maguire's a difficult one, because if he's going to be like part of a squad, and he'll come in and out, you know, playing the cup games or whatever, then I'm not that fussed keeping him. It's just whether he's going to be like a regular face in the team, you know. So
does it also depend whether or not you get rid of Lindelof and Johnny Evans? Because obviously, if you get rid of those two, then you definitely need Maguire to stay, probably.
yeah. So I mean, if we're as we're on there now, Lindelof and Johnny Evans, yeah, I think it's obvious that then both of them need to move on. Johnny Evans, because of his age and probably slight injury record as well.
Yeah.
Lindelof just ain't good enough for me, you know, and he's been there for a little while as well. So, and I don't think Lindelof really has a place in this formation either, because I mean he can play in the center or on the right hand side of a free, but I think what you need in them areas, I don't think he's got. He's not dominant in the air, you know. He's decent on the ball, but he's not aggressive enough for that position. And on the right side or left side of the free, he hasn't got the pace in the wide areas. So for me, I think he's easy to move on. So on that basis, there, yeah, I will keep Maguire as basically as like another option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lisandro Martinez, obviously long-term injury. What are you doing with him?
I really like him on the ball. He's got a good shot. He's got a great pass.
Yeah.
The only thing you can say is that he gets injured a lot and he's a bit rash. And the fact that he's a bit rash can lead to injuries. So it's very tough. It's very tough, because I would like to keep him, but you would need to know, is he going to be able to play for us regularly, or is he always going to get injured every season? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. I hear that. I mean, obviously, yeah, he's obviously got a long-term injury, but for me personally, if I get an offer for him, you know, between 30 to 40 million, I think you have to take that instantly. I think, again, he's not really good in the wide areas, which is a problem. And obviously he's quite injury prone as well. So yeah, it's a problem. But yeah, I would move him on if it meant like United get an offer him for him of that amount, so they can reinvest in the team. So I don't think long term he's going to be the answer. I know he's decent on the ball, but I think especially in them areas, I think United need a lot more. They need someone ideally who is good on the ball and that has a bit of pace about them as well. So yeah, I'd move him on. There's no point talking about Aiden Heaven. Obviously he's just come to the club. Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw's in the same sort of bracket as Martinez, whereas you got to see, you know, is he actually going to play any games for you? That's one thing that we've got to have more players that are available. We can't have, obviously we'll talk about Mason Mount, but we can't have players that are not going to be playing for us. So he's got to go, mate. He's got to. Yeah. Don't know. Who's going to buy him? Who's going to buy him?
Well, he's on a high wage, you know, injury prone. Yeah, it's to be honest with you, it's frustrating, because how you get rid of this player is more or less impossible because of the wage and because of the injury prone, the injury record he has. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But for me, yeah, I'll definitely move him on. Whether that happens or not, who knows? Dallo, who we spoke about earlier, keep or sell, Dallo.
Oh, that is hard. That is hard. I'll keep him as a squad member with competition. He should never, ever think that he is the first choice, because he's just not – he's not exceptional enough. There has been times in his career where he's looked really good, but that's been quite a while away now. So, yeah, I keep him, but he wouldn't be my first choice. He'd have to compete with someone else for the position.
Yeah, I agree. For me personally, part of a squad, I haven't really got an issue with. But if, again, just like Martinez, if a bid was to come in of, say, between 30, 40 million, then yeah, again, he's someone that you probably look to move on and reinvest in the squad. So yeah, I would move him on personally. Patrick Dorgu, obviously new signing. There's no point talking about him. You obviously keep him. Mazraoui.
Keep, without a question. He's very versatile. He was cheap anyway. He's got a good mentality. Yeah, without question, keep.
Yeah, same. I think he's experienced as well. And yeah, he's consistent as well. And you need players like that in the squad. So yeah, I'll definitely keep him as well. Moving on to midfield, Manuel Ugarte.
Yeah, I'm keeping. I've got a bit more of a liking to him than other people. I appreciate what he does. As long as you put him with the right partner, he's a good player. So yeah, definitely keep for me.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Ugarte is a squad player. I think if United are, looking to be a team that gets back amongst the top four, competing for top four or for the league, which is a long way off, then someone like me, Ugarte, has his place in the squad, but nowhere is a starter. As I said, when you're playing against the weaker teams, he should be a bench player. And again, if you're looking to be serious, he's a squad player if he's still there. So he's not a starter for me if United are really, really meant to be where they're meant to be. So, but yeah, I'll keep him for the squad, if anything. As Bilal said, man, wonder what you're going to say about Bruno. Yeah, so Bruno Fernandes. I mean, it's very easy for me.
Yeah, we're going to be similar with this. I always tell the truth about him. When he plays well, I'll say he was good today. And there was a stage when we were playing Liverpool, Arsenal, he looked really good. He was actually dribbling past players, for God's sake. But then since then, he's gone back to his usual sort of ghosting for most of the game. And he might pop up with an assist like he did the other day, but that's not good enough for me because you need someone, especially as your captain, you need someone reliable who is probably about a 7 out of 10 each game. So I would actually sell while he's got some value because we need to start thinking about the future. And, he's 30, whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to waste time on this one. Get him gone. Get him gone. The best ability about Bruno is that he's actually always available, which is good. But just for United to move forward, and I'm just sick and tired of seeing him as well. So yeah, it's an easy one for me. He needs to be moved on. And for me, that should be one of the main things that the club look to do in the summer, go in a different direction. Because he's been there for a while, and the fact that we happen to have to see him every single game is actually. Yeah, it's tiring. So yeah, 100% for me. Moving on. Toby Collier.
Keep. Young player, useful to have around the squad. I wouldn't even spend too much time saying it. Yeah, keep.
Yeah. Same again, man. I think needs to be given more chances to play. Again, another squad option. So yeah, I ain't really got a problem with that. I'll keep him. Kobe Manu.
Yeah, keep. I mean, the only way I wouldn't keep him is if someone offers a ridiculous amount of money for him. But yeah, I'd keep him young, skillful. I don't think he's being used very well at the moment, but that's not his fault. So yeah, keep.
Yeah, for me, easy one again. But this comes with a certain thing though. I'll definitely keep him, but in this system, he has to be playing as a 10. I don't want to see him playing as a 6 or an 8 in this system. If it's a different system, 4 at the back, then I wouldn't mind see him playing in 1 of the 2. But this system, he needs to be playing as a left 10 for sure. And but yeah, he's got a lot of ability, but I think he's being failed by the manager by playing him false 9. And in the 6 or the 8. So yeah, but for me, definitely keep. Who else we got there? Amad Diallo, obviously easy one.
Yeah, keep. Simple.
Yeah, not much to talk about Amad. Yeah, 100% keep. I think the best thing that they can do with Amad is give him the 7 or the 10. Let him know that he's that he's going to be relied upon. He's going to be one of the stars of the team. And I think that number 10 shirt, number 7 shirt. But I'd only want to see him have them shirt numbers if he's going to be playing in the right 10. And obviously the reports of Quenda coming in the summer, which will allow Ahmad to play there. And I think him having a Quenda there, again, I think you will see a lot more from Ahmad. I think this team's so disjointed and not in form, you know, Ahmad's flitting in and out of games, which ain't really his fault. But I think if you got a better option on that right-hand side, I think you'll see the best of Ahmad. And so it's an easy one for me. Mason Mount.
Very hard because we've barely seen him. Again, it's another Luke Shaw, it's another Sandro Martinez. I'd like him to work out, but you got to be honest about it. You can't tell whether or not he's ever going to be reliable. So, again, you know, it's easy to say sell him, but to who? To who?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard. I don't know what to say about him, mate.
Yeah. Me personally, I again, it's going to be a difficult player to move on, but I'll definitely get rid of him. I don't think he offers anything, if I'm honest with you. Cost a lot of money, injury prone, you know, and again, where does he actually figure in this team? You know, where's he actually going to play? Because is he a better left 10 than would I have him at left 10 over Kobe? No. Would I have him at right 10 over Ahmad? No. He can't play in the 2 in the central midfield. So yeah, he's like, I don't really see where he fits in. You know, he'd probably be better as a wing back. Obviously, he's got a lot of energy, high work rate. But this signing was a joke. And if United can recoup something from that signing, then for me, I'll just move him on. But again, just like Luke Shaw, they're going to be difficult to move on. So we have to just wait and see in the summer, really, with that one. Christian Eriksen.
Well, I really like him, but yeah, I think the writing's on the wall. I think this is going to be his last season there. So I'm not even going to disrespect him and say sell him. I'm just going to say he's probably going to retire soon. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear it. Again, Christian Eriksen. Yeah, I think he's definitely going to leave on a free. Would I keep him? I probably wouldn't. To be fair, I'd move him on and get fresh because he's not playing anyway. But I'll get fresher players in that position. For some reason, with Christian Eriksen and Mata, they've never been played in their best positions, which is a number 10. Something that I just find confusing. But I think definitely Eriksen for me needs to be moved on. Casemiro.
Well, me personally, because of the kind of person that he is, I would have kept him until literally his contract runs out. But you know, realistically, he's going to get sold. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, based on his experience, you know, his leadership qualities, it's a kind of a player that you don't want to get rid of. You know what I mean, or shouldn't be getting rid of. Again, for me, he should have been made the captain. You know, the fact that he wasn't, and he's having someone like Bruno captain him again is a massive failure on the management for allowing that to happen. But I think because of his wage, you know, and obviously again the manager doesn't fancy him, so it's best to just let him go and go elsewhere and at least enjoy like the twilight of his career in playing. Really, you know, obviously one of the legends of the game, multiple-time Champions League winner. So yeah, man, I think it's best for all parties that Casemiro just moves on because this manager clearly is not using him. He's a high earner, and Casemiro is too good to be getting disrespected like that. So
exactly,
yeah. Garnacho.
Well, we said it before, haven't we? We said it before. I don't have a problem with him being a squad player, coming off the bench and, you know, injecting a bit of sort of pace or whatever you want to call it. So I'd keep him not necessarily as a first choice, but yeah, as part of the squad.
Yeah. For me, very easy. Take the money and run. You know, if United get a bid of between 40, 50 million for me, I mean, I think for his level of ability, I don't think he's worth that. But the hype and all these other things might sway that to be a bit higher. But if United get an offer for him, they should take that and run. You can reinvest in the squad, get better quality in that position. If he was to stay, which obviously again I don't think he should, the only role he has is an impact sub. That's where he's best. Where he's got tired legs, he's fresh. He can run, you know what I mean? But if he's someone that this club think that they're going to start every week in, week out, then think again, because he's not the level, you know. And yeah, for me, I would sell 100%, no questions there. Then we got Joshua Zirkzee.
I keep him. He wasn't that expensive anyway. He's only just got here. He's capable of playing well. He's not being used well. Barely gets a chance. So yeah, for me, I'll keep him.
Yeah, for me, definite keep. Players of that profile are not in the game anymore, and I think United have done well to get him. You know, hasn't been given the chances that Rasmus has been given. Again, people seem to want to think that Xerxes is someone that runs around, which that isn't his game, you know. And again, he's someone just like Ahmad, with better players around them, they're gonna thrive, you know. And why he hasn't been given 9-10 games in a row, just like Rasmus has, again's a mystery. You know, this is a guy that has more league goals than Rasmus. Yeah, he's got better fundamentals in his game, better touch. You know, he's got a better shot. He's stronger. You know, he can hold the play. He can link the play. He's skillful. He's just got so much more to his game than Højlund. And yeah, for me, that's a definite stay. And there should be no questions there, man. Because again, there's not really the strikers out there in world football anymore, and it's especially someone of his profile. So yeah, for me, definite keep. And then the last one, I think this is an easy one again, Rasmus Højlund.
There's reports that there are teams interested in him. If they want to buy him, then I don't mind selling him. If that doesn't happen, again, I don't mind him being a squad player, but I'd want Amorim to bring in an elite striker, without question. So if there's an offer for him, sell him. If not, and we have to keep him, he cannot be first choice striker. As simple as that.
Yeah, I hear you. Me personally, I'll just remove him altogether. You know, the 72 million is a joke. You know, if United can get, 40 million for him, which again, is anyone really going to pay 40 million for him? Again, another take that and run. You know, obviously United would need to go and get another striker for sure. Who that's going to be, I don't know, but I just don't think that this player offers anything, you know. Again, his qualities that he has are few and far between. He has pace, but you very rarely see it. And I think, yeah, for me, he's probably the most easiest out of the lot. He's someone that needs to be moved on, for sure. You know, but yeah, just like you said, if he was to stay, he has to be backup. But again, you don't spend 72 million on a backup striker, so this is even more the reason why he has to go. And I wouldn't be adverse to seeing him go, man. So we'll have to look forward to that in the summer. So, but yeah, man. Obviously, I'm gonna have to shoot now anyway. But I appreciate you every time, man, coming on. Big up to Bilal as well for coming on in the stream as well.
Yeah.
You got anything coming up?
No, mate. But obviously, we'll keep in touch, and we'll probably do something either before Spurs or after Spurs. I think that's probably the next sort of thing that we can collab on. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% on your channel. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't mind, we'll just take it in turns. I think that's
100%. Yeah, I'm up for that, man. Yeah, but yeah, guys, man, safe for coming on. As I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel at Gab Goes In, and make sure you subscribe to at Elite Baller as well, 2050. You're on Twitter and YouTube, yeah? Any other platforms?
No, just those two, mate. Those two.
Okay. Yeah, guys, man. So Twitter and platform for Elite Baller, and then obviously subscribe to my channel at Gab Goes In. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. And Twitter. Say Twitter already? Yeah, on Twitter as well. So yeah, just make sure you smash that like button, guys, as well. Obviously, helps with the algorithms, helps it reach out to more people. And yeah, we're going to be back. Obviously, United are playing Tottenham, I believe. Is it Sunday?
I'm not sure. I reckon it might. Yeah,
on Sunday. So yeah, but we're definitely going to do a stream before that, because for me, it's a crucial game for both managers, and I think whatever manager doesn't win this game, it's the pressure's going to pile on. So yeah, we're going to do like a little stream for that one, see how both teams will line up on Elite Borders channel. So yeah, be sure, guys, to subscribe to that, and be sure to slap your notifications on as well to be notified when that's gonna happen. But yeah, man, safe for coming on there, bro.
No worries, man. Pleasure as always speaking to you, brother.
Yeah, no worries, man. We'll catch up soon, yeah?
Yeah, no problem, mate. In a bit.
Cool. All right, people, take it easy.
Peace.
Later.